all of us are aware that the agrarian crisis is among one of the worst situations that has occurred in this country over the last several years. In the last 8 years, for which the figures are available from the National Crime Records Bureau, which is directly under the Union Home Ministry, which, as we know, is now headed by Mr. Amit Shah, the figures show that more than 1,474,000 farmers have been forced to commit suicide in India due to indebtedness. These are the official figures of the Government of India, which I am saying. Now, this is something which was unheard of before. It all started after the neoliberal policies were began by the then Congress government in 1991. And with the neoliberal policies started this extremely poisonous situation of the farmers' suicides, which has been continuing for the last 30 years, ever since 1991-92, up to even today. So this is the biggest tragedy that has happened all over the country, the agrarian tragedy that we are talking about. The other very important result of this agrarian crisis has been, which is not so much in the news, but it used to be at one time and it requires to be again, and that is the death of thousands of children, particularly Adivasi and Dalit children in various parts of the country due to malnutrition and due to starvation. Such deaths have been occurring on a very regular basis in tribal dominated states like, for example, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, parts of Telangana. All these places we have seen that this is another manifestation of the agrarian crisis. Number one, farmer suicides. Number two, deaths of small children due to malnutrition and starvation. There has been no respite in both these things that have been there in the last 30 years of the neoliberal policies, which I would again like to underline were begun by the Congress government with Narasimha Rao as the Prime Minister, with Mr. Manmohan Singh as the Finance Minister then, carried on by the Congress government in which Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, and now, of course, taken forward in an incremental manner by the BJP government, earlier headed by Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and now, of course, by the non-biological so-called Mr. Narendra Modi. So this, in the last 10 years, things have gone from bad to worse in the agrarian situation, and that's why I began by saying that 1,474,000 farmers have been forced to commit suicide all over the country due to indebtedness. Now, regarding this, the major 4 or 5 reasons why this agrarian crisis has been continuously deteriorating over the years, there has been no respite, there has been no improvement. If at all, there has been worsening of the agrarian crisis in India. And this is for 4 or 5 very simple reasons, which even a layman can understand. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to be even a farmer to be able to understand these reasons. Number one, the first reason for this is that the cost of production for a farmer is going up by leaps and bounds in these last 3 decades of the neoliberal policies. This is because of the 2 reasons. Number one, the central government has chopped off subsidy given to agriculture, subsidy given to rural development, and subsidy given to various agricultural situations like irrigation, power, agriculture itself. All these things have been slashed by the central government. And that is the reason why you see subsidies have been cut on fertilizers. Even the latest budget has further cut subsidies on fertilizers, on seeds, on insecticides. That is one reason why all these agricultural inputs, the costs have tremendously mushroomed over the last 30 years. The second reason for the increase in the cost of inputs has been the open red carpet having been given to the corporates, and especially the domestic and the foreign corporates, the multinational corporations, to come and invade Indian agriculture. This was done by the earlier Congress government. This is being done now much worse by the current BJP government. And all these corporates are now invading agriculture as they had never done before. And they have now got into this entire agricultural input field. And that is why we see, as a result of the cut in subsidies, as a result of the invitation to the foreign and domestic corporates, we find that the cost of production, the cost of fertilizer, seeds, insecticides, and the whole cost of diesel and petrol, that is directly the BJP government of Mr. Narendra Modi is responsible, as all of us know, for the tremendously risen costs of diesel and power. So therefore, as a result of this, the cost of production for the farmer has grown tremendously over these last 10 years. Even earlier, but now much more in the last 10 years. Secondly, the remuneration given to farmers is absolutely not at all commensurate with the increase in the cost of production. And that is why the entire struggle that is going on all over the country today, which is the struggle for a remunerative minimum support price, which, as the Dr. M.S. Swaminathan led National Commission on Farmers had said very clearly in the year 2006, when all its 5 reports were placed before Parliament, that the main recommendation of that commission, apart from many other very good and salutary recommendations that was made by the National Commission on Farmers headed by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, was, number one was that if the agrarian crisis is to be arrested, if farmer suicides are to be stopped, the most important thing that is to be done is what they had recommended. Every farmer for every crop must be given a minimum support price, a legal guarantee must be given for it, which will be 1.5 times the comprehensive cost of production. That should be the MSP. MSP meaning again minimum support price. That is what should be given as a legal guarantee to all farmers all over the country. Then that price must be 1.5 times the comprehensive cost of production. The formula given by him was C2 plus 50%. Now this has not been implemented by any government ever since 2006. Not by the Congress government at that time, certainly not by the BJP government, although in the 2014 election manifesto, the BJP government had said in black and white that we will implement the Swaminathan Commission recommendations. They did not do it. On the contrary, within 1 year of coming to power, Mr. Narendra Modi's government submitted a affidavit to the Supreme Court of India saying that although we had made this promise in our manifesto, we cannot actually implement it because this will so-called distort the market. Those were their words. So that means this typical jumlebaji, a Hindi word, meaning that total falsehoods in the election manifesto, which they don't mean at all. This was the entire situation of the last 10 years of the Modi government. So this happened. Number 3, there have been tremendous natural calamities. Wayanad calamity, we went there yesterday, we found hundreds of acres of crops have been destroyed. Apart from the houses, apart from the tremendous loss to life, loss to property, houses, etc. But every day almost we are finding there are natural calamities which have affected the whole of India, parts of India here and there. Drought is there, floods are there, unseasonal rains are there, hailstorms are there. Now, as a result of all these natural calamities, which are getting worse as a result of climate change, getting worse as a result of global warming, all environmentalists are aware of this. All the common people also must be aware of this, that climate change is having a tremendously bad effect on agriculture in all countries of the world, but especially in countries like India. Now, when such crop loss is there, when such crop destruction is there, the need of the hour is for a comprehensive crop insurance scheme, which can help farmers in distress. When their crops are finished, when it is destroyed, they must get definitely a proper compensation for their loss. The Prime Minister, current Prime Minister, started what is called as the Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, that is the Prime Minister's crop insurance scheme. This has been going on from 2016 onwards. Everybody who has studied this scheme, any objective observer, and the All India Kisan Sabha has studied it, various states we have gone through, we have come to the conclusion, not just our organization, but many agricultural scientists who have studied this scheme have come to the unanimous conclusion that the Prime Minister's crop insurance scheme is not meant to help farmers in distress. It is meant to help the insurance corporate companies. That is very, very clear now. And all the figures, there is no time to go into the figures now, but all the figures go to show that the big corporate insurance companies, both private, that is both the Indian companies and also some foreign companies, have made tremendous profits, whereas the compensation that should have gone to the farmers has not been given. The fourth point, which must be understood, after the neoliberal regime came into place, the entire credit system has been changed by the governments. The Congress government changed it first. The BJP government is taking it ahead. The entire credit, that is, earlier, agriculture was number one priority in the country for giving bank loans. That was the earlier credit policy. With the neoliberal policies that started coming, the entire priority list was changed. Number one priority for credit, bank credit, started being given to industry. That also to the corporates, number one. MSMEs were totally left out of it. And then if there was something remaining, that came to agriculture. Even earlier it was our criticism. Even when agriculture was at the top of the priority list, it was the rich farmers, it was the landlords that used to get maximum this thing in the credit from the banks, from the cooperative societies. Even at that time, the poor farmers used to get nothing. Today now, with this change in the credit policy, where industry has come first, services have come second, and agriculture has come up over third, there you are finding that even the middle farmers are not getting credit. Poor farmers never got it in the first place. Today they are not getting at all. As a result of this, it is the middle and the poor farmers, even sections of the rich farmers are finding it difficult to get credit. As a result of this, what we see is that the farmers are today having to go to private money lenders who are charging interest anywhere between 36% per annum to 60% per annum on the loans that they are giving. There are some states we know, All India Kisan Sabha has done a study of this, where in some places the interest rate goes up to 120% per annum, that is 10% per month. But 36% to 60% is a very common thing, 3 to 5% per month. Now, with this kind of a situation, naturally farmers are going to go into a severe debt trap which they absolutely cannot get out of. So this is one very important thing. The last one point that I must say, it is connected with a very important section of agriculture, that is the landless farmers, landless peasants, and that is the agricultural workers, who are a very, very integral part of agriculture, because without agricultural workers working on the fields, there cannot be agriculture in India. Now, regarding these agricultural workers, the Manrega scheme was started as a result of the pressure of the left parties when the CPIM had 43 members of parliament in 2004, when the left had 61 members of parliament. It was at that time that 2 or 3 very important decisions had to be taken. Number one was the Manrega Act, which was passed in parliament as a result of the pressure of the left. Neither the Congress government, and leave aside the BJP government, had never brought this rural employment guarantee ever, even when they had 400 plus majority. The Congress had it one time. But here, because of the left pressure, they had to bring in the Manrega law. Because of the left pressure, they had to bring in the Forest Rights Act in 2006, which corrected the historical injustice done to the tribal farmers, the Adivasi farmers, and they could get the right to have the land on their own names. These were some of the things. Because of the pressure of the left, they had to give a partial loan waiver. The UPA 1 government had to give a partial loan waiver to the farmers of India. So these were some of the things concerned with agriculture which they had to do. But after this, the implementation of all this leaves much to be desired. And the BJP government is now out to totally dynamite the Manrega Act, the entire agricultural workers sector. They want to just finish off. They are now out to undermine the Forest Rights Act. They are just not implementing it, and therefore all these things they are not doing. One of the major issues that we had raised was that apart from this MSP at 1.5 times the cost of production, the second thing was in 2008 the government had done a partial loan waiver, as I said, the UPA 1 government. But after that, loans have increased tremendously. So the farmers' movement has demanded, All India Kisan Sabha has been demanding a one-time complete loan waiver to farmers and agricultural workers all over the country. That was promised by the Narendra Modi government in 2014. Now they have not done any such thing. They have written off loans worth 16 lakh crore rupees of the corporates in the last 10 years. 16 lakh crores of loans to the corporates they have written off, but not a single naya paisa of loans to the farmers or agricultural workers they have not cut off. So this is the situation. Regarding the Manrega, we are demanding that the Manrega on the contrary should be expanded. Instead of 100 days per year, it should be made 200 days per year. The wages should be increased to 600 rupees per day for the agricultural workers who are our brothers and sisters working in the farms of India. Therefore, farmers and agricultural workers form one indivisible unit. And then the last point that we are mentioning is, and we are insisting, is the right to land. The right to land. There was a slogan in the independence struggle which the farmers' movement had always taken up, and that was land to the tiller. All the big struggles at that time, the Punnapra-Vailar struggle in Kerala, the North Malabar struggles in Kerala, the Tebaga struggle in Bengal, Telangana struggle in Andhra, the Surma Valley struggle in Assam, the Ganamukti Parishad struggle in Tripura, the Warli Adivasi struggle in Maharashtra, all these struggles were struggles against feudalism. All these struggles were those against the whole question of landlordism, and the main point in those struggles was land to the tiller. We remember with pride, it was the comrade EMS Nambudripad government, communist government in 1957, which was the first in India among the state governments to actually bring forward a land reform act over here. It was piloted through the Kerala Assembly by Gauri Amma, who was at that time the land revenue minister, and therefore it was that government which brought a very, very extremely radical land reforms bill. That was the first that was brought in Kerala. It was implemented, and that is why we see that a large number of people in Kerala who had not had any ownership of land, lakhs of them, landless, actually got ownership of land in Kerala. So therefore, this question of land, the same thing was done in West Bengal under the leadership of Comrade Jyoti Basu as Chief Minister, under the earlier United Front government, where our All India Kisan Sabha General Secretary, Comrade Hare Krishna Konar, was the land revenue minister in the late 1960s. The same process was carried out and taken forward by Comrade Buddhadev Bhattacharya, who has just, we have learnt about his demise just earlier today. So therefore, in Tripura, the same thing was done under the governments of Comrade Rupen Chakravarti, Comrade Dasharath Dev, Comrade Manik Sarkar. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Sheikh Abdullah government also carried out radical land reforms right in the 1950s. So all these things, but nowhere else in the country where the Congress governments were ruling or the BJP governments were ruling. Today, on the contrary, the entire clock is being turned back. The slogan today of the BJP and the Congress is not land to the tiller. The new slogan of them is land to the corporates. That is the slogan for which all of them are working, unfortunately. And that is what is being opposed by the farmers' movement led by the All India Kisan Sabha today. Finally, I will come to the struggles against all these, what you mentioned. There have been continuous struggles in the last, I'm coming only to the last 10 years. I don't want to go earlier than that because that will take too much time. The struggles against the Modi government, which has been, and I say this with a great sense of responsibility, the BJP RSS government led by Narendra Modi and Amit Shah has been the most anti-people, the most pro-corporate, the most communal, and the most authoritarian government in independent India up to now. I say this with a complete sense of responsibility. Such a bad government has never been seen before. This is not giving a certificate to the earlier governments at the center. But there is no doubt about the fact that the Modi government is by far the worst in all these situations. We have seen right now in Wayanad such a huge human tragedy occurring. Such a huge human tragedy occurring. Even today, the central government has refused to declare Wayanad as a national disaster, with all that it implies. Once you declare something as a national disaster, you are duty bound to give financial help to the affected people. Yesterday, we met 3 of our state ministers in Kerala, in Wayanad. In Kalpetta we met. They told us 29th July was the landslide. And today how many days is it? Not a single naya paisa has come from the central government as aid for the victims of Wayanad. People all over the country are contributing in thousands. Lakhs of rupees has come to the crores of rupees, I will say, to the Chief Minister's Distress Relief Fund. As I said, tomorrow the All India Kisan Sabha and the Kerala Karshak Sangam, we are meeting the Chief Minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, and handing over a check of 1 crore rupees, which our mostly Kerala and all over the country farmers have given for the Wayanad relief. But the richest institution in India, the central government, has not thought it fit to give even 1 rupee. This is the situation. And therefore, this whole question of land is an extremely important thing. Now, understand to all this thing, these were the struggles, right? First, we talked against the land acquisition ordinance of the Modi government. We fought against it. The Bhumi Adhikar Andolan was formed. Tremendous struggles took place. The Modi government had to withdraw that ordinance in August 2015. That was the first defeat of the Narendra Modi government, and that defeat also took place at the hands of the farmers of India. And then, of course, all of you are aware, the 1 year, 15-day huge struggle at the Delhi borders led by the Sanyukta Kisan Morcha. Lakhs of farmers were camping outside Delhi. They were blocking out 5 or 6 highways at the Singhu border, Tikri border, Shahjahanpur border, which was being led by our All India Kisan Sabha and our newly elected Member of Parliament from Rajasthan, Comrade Amra Ram, who is the Vice President of the Kisan Sabha, now newly elected as a Member of Parliament. Ghazipur, Palwal, all these places, lakhs of farmers had blocked for 1 year and 15 days. They included women in thousands. They included children. All castes, communities, religions were represented in this tremendously historic struggle. And this struggle was meant, main cutting edge was against the 3 farm laws, which the government at the center, the Modi government, had foisted upon the farmers, upon agriculture, upon the country. And all these 3 farm laws were totally pro-corporate, helping the Ambanis, helping the Adanis, helping all the other corporates, and against the farmers of India, against even the people of India, because they were designed not only to attack the MSP regime, they were also designed to attack the public distribution system. That is the common people of India. This is the point. Apart from this, very important struggles have taken place in Rajasthan on questions of irrigation, on questions of power, led by our All India Kisan Sabha over there, on questions like the whole electricity point, loan waiver. They were successful. Big struggles took place in Maharashtra, an 11-day farmers' strike in 2017, jointly by all the farmers' organizations together, but the All India Kisan Sabha was in the lead. And when that also was not satisfactorily implemented, in March 2018, 50,000 farmers, led independently by the All India Kisan Sabha, marched from Nasik to Mumbai in that iconic Kisan Long March, which was covered not only in India but all over the world. These were actually the precursors to this All India struggle in Delhi, which took place, and therefore as a result of this, they created the background. They created the confidence that we can fight against the Narendra Modi government, and we can fight and we can win. The Long March, as a result of it, there was a BJP government in Maharashtra. They first started by saying they are not farmers at all. All of us who are marching for 7 days, according to Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, the then Chief Minister BJP of Maharashtra, he said they are not farmers at all. We are not going to have any talk with them. Finally, they had to talk to us. When we reached Mumbai, 3-hour talks they had to do. A half a dozen ministers of the government, they had to come and they had to give us in writing regarding a loan waiver. 34,000 crore loan waiver they had to give. They actually implemented 20,000 crores. But at least that they had to do. They had to give this whole Forest Rights Act. Thousands of farmers actually got land in their possession as a result of the Kisan Long March. So all this, the BJP government can be made to do if there is a big mass movement. And that is exactly which was again proved all India level by this Sayukta Kisan Morcha thing. I take this opportunity on your channel. I congratulate the farmers of Kerala. I congratulate the workers of Kerala, because the working class also supported this struggle all over the country and all over Kerala. The agricultural workers, the students, the youth, the women, all these organizations, had it not been for their support, this Delhi struggle would not have been victorious. Finally, it was victorious. Modi, the so-called 56-inch chest man, he had to withdraw the 3 farm laws in November 2021, and they had to sign an agreement with us, giving the other things, etc., that we will consider. But naturally, the last point I'm coming to, they have not yet implemented any of those things. They have not yet implemented. The MSP demand has not yet been implemented. Loan waiver demand, not yet been implemented. On the contrary, the Electricity Act, we wanted a repeal of the Electricity Act. They are now not only repealing, they have now started installing smart meters, both in the villages and in the towns and in the cities. Prepaid smart meters. Once you put that, unless you give the electricity tariff beforehand, they will cut off your electricity. That is what they want to do. And this will affect not only the farmers, but it will affect even the working class in the cities. It will affect middle class in the cities. It will affect the entire country. So we are against this whole smart meters concept. We are fighting against that. So many other things. Crop insurance, as I told you. Pension for farmers and agricultural workers. That is another of our very key demands. So like this, so many demands are there. On the 10th of July, we had a SKM meeting, Sayukta Kisan Morcha national meeting in Delhi. And there we took into account many of these things. On the 9th of August, we have given a call all over India. There will be mass demonstrations in favor of these demands, and this struggle will continue in the coming days. 2 days ago, all of us were there in Delhi, and we had a joint meeting of the Sayukta Kisan Morcha and the central trade unions. Just 2 days ago. And there we decided that this 9th August to 14th August, both the central trade unions and the Sayukta Kisan Morcha is coming together to lead a very big mass campaign all over the country that will immediately start from tomorrow. Then we have decided on the 26th of November, major decisions only I am giving you, 26th November 2024, that is the day when the Chalo Delhi, this mass struggle in Delhi started, 26 November 2020. The trade unions also gave a call for an all India strike on the 26th November 2020. So that was a worker peasant unity actually started this entire big farmers movement of 380 days, which gave more than 700 martyrs. More than 700 people of the farmers were martyred in this struggle. So we have decided the other day that within a few days we'll meet, and on the 26th of November 2024, a huge struggle we are going to lead all over the country, which will be a joint struggle led jointly by the Sayukta Kisan Morcha, which, as you know, comprises more than 500 farmers' organizations all over India, and also by the central trade unions, which comprise 10, 12 very major trade unions all over India. All of them are coming together to lead this very big struggle. This struggle will continue until our demands are met. But we know that this struggle cannot be successful so long as the Narendra Modi government is in power. We have got no illusions regarding this. This, as I said, it's a pro-corporate government. If you want to do something for farmers and workers, you cannot do it with a pro-corporate bent of mind. You cannot do it with a neoliberal bent of mind. You'll have to jettison that. You'll have to dynamite that. And therefore, this struggle is eventually aimed at, eventually it will result in ousting the Narendra Modi BJP RSS government and installing a new government, a democratic secular government, but not just Tweedledum replaced by Tweedledee. We don't want that. We want a government which is based on alternative policies, progressive policies. We don't want only a change in face of the government, we want a change in policies. And that is why these policies must favor the common people of India, the working people of India, and the toiling masses, the workers and the peasants of India. That is what we are fighting for. Certainly, I'm sure that with the momentum that the current struggle is giving us, we will be successful in this endeavor in the days to come. So on the 15th of August is the Independence Day of India, a very historic day in the annals of the Indian freedom movement. Huge struggles have taken place, as we know, led by Mahatma Gandhi on the one hand, by Shahid Bhagat Singh on the other hand, and by so many other Democrats, secular individuals, socialists, revolutionaries, communists, all these. In Kerala, of course, we know of very, very, very famous freedom fighters like Comrade A.K. Gopalan, Comrade E.M.S. Nambudripad, Comrade P. Krishna Pillai, who are our icons, whom all of us adore in Kerala and all over the India. Now, on this 15th August, we are sure that in the coming days, with the momentum given by the farmers and the workers' struggle in the last few years, certainly the workers and farmers will come even closer together. And when I say peasants, I mean very integrally the agricultural workers also will be certainly supported by the women of India, by the youth of India, by the students of India, and by people coming from all religions, all castes, all creeds, because that is the beauty of India. The unity in diversity is actually the beauty of India, which has actually led to this Independence Day in 1947. In the coming days, certainly this unity will be steeled even further. It will be steeled even further, and it will go ahead and it will surely win in creating an India of the dreams of Shahid Bhagat Singh, who really said at that time, 2 months before he was sent to the gallows by the British, he said at that time, and that was his final words which he actually gave to the youth of India. He said that if Lord Irwin is replaced by Sir Purushottam Thakurdas, there will be no real change in India for the toiling people. Purushottam Thakurdas was one of the big businessmen at that time. He said that will not make a change. Bhagat Singh had said that unless after independence, power goes to the workers and peasants of India, power goes so that a new socialist system is erected in India, there will be no justice for the workers and peasants. This is what Bhagat Singh has written. And he went further and said that there is only one party. These are Bhagat Singh's words. There is only one party which can bring this about, this dream of mine which can be fulfilled. And he wrote, Bhagat Singh wrote, this one party, its name is the Communist Party. And that is why the left in Kerala will strengthen itself. The left all over India will strengthen itself and come forward as a very, very powerful alternative in the coming days to come. Of course, we will take along all democratic and secular individuals, forces. That is the need of the hour against the RSS BJP today. There is no doubt about that. But while doing that, strengthening the left is of paramount importance, and certainly we will all be concentrating on both these objectives in the coming days after the 15th of August 2024. I greet all of you on Independence Day and appeal to you to join this very, very important endeavor to save both Kerala and save India in the coming days. Thank you. Inqilab, Zindabad, long live revolution.